Hello viewers, we have been on your screen this week talking nothing else than IEBC and get out, register to vote. We are not getting tired with that because we know we now have just about 5 days or so to get out, you Kenyans who are in the UK. And so we decided to bring Nais Tobiko, who's the manager of IEBC. Yes. Is going to be telling us a little bit about where we are. So the first question we're going to ask you, madam, is how are you feeling with London after those few days of engagement? How is the registration?
Thank you, Janet, for having me. The numbers are not very encouraging. We are trying to be cautiously optimistic, but given what we have seen today, we have seen a very steady flow of Kenyans seeking to be registered as voters, assuming this trend were to continue, and of course assuming that even those of you in London are typically Kenyan, you know, the last minute people, assuming that that were to be the case, then there is hope. But as it is right now, the numbers are not particularly encouraging.
Well, we're hoping so too, because we need to have the diaspora voice, and diaspora voice will start coming from the voting, isn't it?
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
have really waited for this thing, and we are very happy that the IEBC really did deliver this time by making sure we have a station in London. It's at the embassy. Yes, a lot of Kenyans are feeling like when the government need us for tax duties, like they even getting the huduma number, they always find different station in different counties. But this time, for these important voting registration, we've only got one station. So for Kenyans who are everywhere, what is your explanation for that? Why do we have only one voting station or one registration place?
I'll tell you what, Janet, when the Constitution of 2010, which is what then acknowledges the Kenyan in diaspora, when it was promulgated in August of 2010, it's what gave us the mandate to progressively register Kenyans residing outside of Kenya as voters and progressively realize their right to participate in an election. However, the operationalization of that particular article or that particular clause has not been, how do I put it? It has not been as fast as we would have wanted, because in 2013 we started with East Africa, like you already know, and in 2017 we added South Africa. Come 2022, we have added a number of other countries, including the UK. But then the thing is, and I completely sympathize with yourselves, that we only have London as the registration center. I will go back to the law. IEBC operates within a legal framework. The law as it is now mandates us to do this registration in an embassy or a consulate. For the UK, this is where we have the Kenyan High Commission. So it's only here that we can do this. And like we've been explaining in the previous engagements, the best we can do is start from this point and then have your voice listened to and lobby to have the government diversify to other registration centers. IEBC would be more than willing. Remember, for us, the interest is to have all of you registered. We would like to have all of you registered. And if you remember the first meeting we had with the Kenyan in the UK, was it in Luton?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was in Luton. My boss, the chairman, was actually very keen to even see how possible can we have these people reached in the various areas where they are. But then legally, we cannot. And there's also the financial implication. So the point is, and I feel you when you say that the government, when they want to reach you for your taxes, I shall not speak for the government, let me speak for IEBC, but I can tell you for free, when it's time for taxing, it's totally different from this. So for us, the point is, can we have you on board so that we can lobby together, so that we can try and put our voices together and see if anything can be done. I completely agree. This disenfranchises a number of Kenyans. It does. But then we can only operate with the provisions of the law. And the provision as at now is that we register at the consulate or at the embassy, which is where we are now.
So after saying that, what areas of the law should the diaspora then lobby to change so as it can actually really work for us?
One of the things the diaspora needs to do is lobby to have satellite registration centers. We must have satellite registration centers, and which we can do, assuming the law were to be amended, or assuming the embassy were to be given the authority to set up other registration centers together with IEBC. That can be done, and you know, that provision can be amended. I don't think it will take much. It can be done, but then given the trend we are seeing right now, I don't know how possible that will be. Because, Janet, politics is a game of numbers. So if you're not going to get the numbers, then we may not be able to lobby. And we could find ourselves, complaining about the same things come 2027. But we do have time between now and 2027 to try and get our voices. And when I say our voices, I mean the voices of the Kenyan in diaspora. Try to get us heard so that we can try and make it more facilitative.
I hear you, but it's the job of the IEBC. IEBC is mandated to do civic education. And I'm looking at you understanding the diaspora is going to be voting. You did not just decide that right now. It's a few years, 2 years, you knew that the diaspora was going to be voting. Did you take initiative to find out how we can work with the diaspora and, how to involve them or tell them a lot about the documentation they need? Because somebody like me who is in the media, I wasn't even invited for the first meeting. The second time I am here with you and then learning about the documents that are needed, I only learned when I came to register here. So the question we're asking ourselves, why was there that delay for the civic education?
I'll tell you what happened, Janet. When we started to, operationalize the particular article that requires the diaspora to be registered progressively, the first thing we did, and this is way back in 2013, we developed a diaspora policy. Now, after developing this diaspora policy, the next thing is the budgetary development. You come up with a budget. How do we reach these people? Now, you realize IEBC is entirely funded by the Exchequer. We do not have a budget of our own. So once this was done, then it's forwarded. We were basically cut down to size and, almost very, very cautiously asked to be, less ambitious in reaching the diaspora. Yeah. And that is why we were limited to countries within the EAC. And then we brought on board South Africa. Now, come to these particular countries that we have added on board now, the same caution that the embassies first gave us the projections of those people who are recognized, because I suppose there are a number of Kenyans who are not recognized by their embassies, not just in the UK, but across the globe.
Documentation.
So, yes, documentation. So the embassies then gave us this number. So this is not something that is being done by IEBC in isolation. So you liaise with the embassies, they give you the numbers, you do your budgetary projections and take them. And what happens is, the parliamentary committees that deal with budgetary allocations have the overall say. For us, we could take and say, we want to start voter education in 2021. They look at it and the first thing you're told is, no, but Kenyans in diaspora are very educated people. They can comfortably go to the website and get the information. The kind of voter education you're going to do for them is not the same as we would be doing back in the villages for our grandmothers and the less educated population. So that has really hampered our efforts to reach out to the voters, or rather the prospective voters in the diaspora. We have had challenges, some of which we cannot, come airing here, but we have had challenges in as far as reaching out or the spread of voter education for the diaspora is concerned. Major among them being the budgetary allocation.
Yes, but I can categorically tell you the diaspora is feeling very much let down. But the fact that this information came way so late that we didn't have no leeway of getting our documents right. What do I mean by that? Some people have been in the UK for the last 20 years, 30 years, and doing whatever they do, for their life and sending money back to Kenya and investing in Kenya. But what they have done in Kenya, the document you need in Kenya to do what you do, you have your, you have your ID.
Right.
And most people in Kenya, they use their national ID, and they've got their British passport for whatever traveling they need to travel. That has happened all the time, and people are not worried about getting their Kenyan passport because you don't need to travel your Kenyan passport.
Right.
So that has taken almost, let me say, 70% of the voters you want to come and register today. So they're asking the question, for us to get the Kenyans in the diaspora using the ID like they do it in Kenya, is there anything we need to do so as that can be facilitated, or what is your advice? Because the numbers you're getting, that is less. As much as we are blaming the diaspora for not coming out, I'm putting the blame back to the IEBC because that was not communicated. But we want you now to tell us, because we want a journey of a million miles, we will start with one step. Tell us, what do we need to do?
Janet, I hate to burst your bubble and that of many other Kenyans, but the truth of the matter is, the provisions legally for now is that for anyone residing outside of the East African community, countries within the East African community, the document that is the legal registration document is a passport, as it is right now.
So can that change?
Yes, of course it can change, and that is why we are talking lobby. But the lobby I'm talking about here will only apply for 2027. For 2022, Janet, it's a done case.
Absolutely. No, that I understand.
Yeah.
I am here looking at what is the
future.
next step.
Yes. The next step is, yes, we can start lobbying. We can start engaging the legislative arm of the government. Remember, IEBC does not legislate. IEBC relies on government, on parliament to do the legislation. So it would be upon yourselves, your leadership within your established structures, to work with us to seek the necessary legal amendments to enable this, should there be need. But the most important thing is the legislators, who is parliament, must then be on board. This is not entirely for IEBC, it's something that we're going to have to do together. Like I mentioned, and well, it's unfortunate that a number of the prospective voters blame IEBC for this. IEBC only operates within the law. The law as it is right now, outside the East Africa community, the legal document is a passport. IEBC cannot change that. So if that were to change, it would be yourselves to lobby Parliament, and where our input is needed, we input. It will be upon you to lobby Parliament to change that. Can it be changed? I suppose it can. I suppose it can. For 2027, yes. But it is not...
it's not doable for 2022.
For 2022, it's out. And then most importantly, it's not IEBC that said that. It's not IEBC. It's the Constitution of 2010. And if you remember, the particular IEBC we have now actually came into force in 09 December. So... the first assignment we had was to conduct the referendum of 2010 that gave us this constitution, and we had no say in it. Well, assuming it was to be happening now, we are better placed to lobby and say this is what is more facilitating for the Kenyan population residing outside the country. Because yes, I feel the cry, and I feel like yes, indeed, you are disenfranchised in a way. You are disenfranchised. And for us to be able to correct that, it will take yourselves to lobby the legislative arm of Parliament. They'll perhaps ask IEBC to also put in our voice, and we know exactly what would facilitate the population outside Kenya more.
Well, I hear you, and I agree with you. We have not reached where we've reached today.
Yeah.
Just in one day.
Yeah.
We have worked hard. The previous chairman of IEBC, he was here, and this. We were talking over and over again. So yes, we are very happy that we have reached here.
Yeah.
So it means we are moving forward.
Yes, indeed.
And coming to move forward, let's say in the UK, if I have to vote, sometimes I don't have to leave my house because the system is so good. Online voting is really perfect here. It works marvelously. Kenya is one of the most technology-oriented country. I'm telling you, Kenya works marvelous when you deal with technology. So why are we not looking for the diaspora to use online voting? Because if somebody's in Glasgow, someone in Scotland, somebody is in Paris having to go to Berlin, my friend.
Janet,
seriously, why are we not doing online?
Janet, I will tell you one simple truth. In management of elections in Kenya, and I have been in the elections business for the last 12 years, what we are managing is largely trust, okay? Our biggest challenge is issues of trust. We can trust technology to transact millions of money on M-Pesa, but we cannot trust technology to cast your vote. It is doable, but the issues that are holding us back is the issues of trust. We have such trust deficits in the country, particularly along the lines of politics. That is what is keeping us. If anything is going to change, then our trust in the systems, our trust among us ourselves, particularly the political class, something has to be done. Because yes, nothing would make our work easier as a commission than just doing it online. But as it is, it's not just a Kenyan problem. It's only Namibia. I don't know if there are other countries right now, but I know Namibia has gone fully electronic voting.
Yes.
I witnessed their first voting electronically in 2014. Again, I'm very cautious here because I don't know which other countries have since come on board. But then what we are managing, Janet, is issues of trust.
Yes.
Because if we wanted to do it electronically, we would. At the click of a button, we would. But I don't have a problem sending someone 100,000 and I could input the wrong number, but I have a problem trusting Janet to go online and cast her vote online. I'd have a problem with that. And I mean, you know the
It's actually very backward in the system.
It is.
The fact that everybody is asking that question here, like, I don't understand why we have to, and that is when I'm telling people and lobbying people, mobilizing, come to the Kenya High Commission and register to vote. They're like, Janet, where we are standing, can't we just do it?
Do it from the comfort of our,
And I like the fact that you said the word trust, because Diaspora have requested the IEBC to tell us how are they going to know that their vote is safe. Trust issue comes in there, but what's your answer to that?
Now, the trust apparently is not only back at home, you also have trust issues. Yes. But how do we assure you that your vote is safe? Please have amongst yourselves people who are going to be accredited as observers and as agents of the various political parties. Remember, you will be participating in the presidential vote. So every party that will have a candidate in the presidential vote will be entitled to have an agent in the hall where we will be doing the voting. And we will also have you have your own observers. So have them come, observe the process. At the end of the day, give us a rating and tell us. Because as IEBC, I have no doubt.
So you're telling the political parties to have an observer who's registered in the UK?
I'm telling yourselves, I'm sure you're going to vote for a certain party, Janet. Yes. I have no doubt. Yes. There is a party deep inside of you that you know this is the one I identify with. Yes. So get someone who will be an agent of that particular party, all right, in that hall on that day. Yes. Okay? They don't have to ship in an agent from Kenya. Yes. From the meeting we held, I saw that different political parties already have their own supports here. They have their structures very well represented. So let them then have their agents. We will accredit those agents, and they will be there on the 9th of August to follow the process from the opening of the polling station to the end of the day. By the time we are sending our results back home, they will actually have the results.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes.
Fabulous.
So mobilize yourselves. Let the political parties have their agents, have observers. Let them come and observe the process.
Now, what's the next step? People have registered to vote, whether we have 200, whether we have 10,000. Those who have registered
may
to vote.
May it be 10,000.
Yes, may it be, and that is what we are looking for.
Yeah.
So what is the next step?
The next step for us is we will, of course, we'll take back the names of those who have applied to be registered, take them back to Nairobi, where they will be consolidated into the register. The amendments of 2016 brought the need for us to have the register audited. So if the register is going to be audited, then after the auditing of the register, what we will do is we'll open the same register for inspection and verification. Inspection and verification is where we'll place the register here, and we'll have you present yourself to that station and say, my name is misspelled. It's Janet with a single T, but you have written with a double T. You know, correcting your particulars so that on the 9th of August, you don't come and get a rude shock because we captured your particulars wrongly. So we are going to open the register for verification and for inspection, just to correct your particulars in order to enable us to have a very clean register come August 9th. So that is the next step. Now after that, we will close the register.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then come the voting day?
And then come the voting day, we bring it over here and have those people who are registered come voting. Now, whether you inspect the register or not, it does not invalidate the fact that if you're registered, you're registered. Whether you turn up to inspect or and verify, it does not invalidate. It would be important that you do turn up, but we'll also come up with a short code to enable you do your inspection from the comfort of your room. So the short code will enable you to just key in something and you know, it will show you Janet so-and-so, Nais Tobiko. So if Tobiko is misspelled, then I'll be able to reach out to the IEBC and ask them to correct. That I pray that we'll be able to do it digitally because we've done that before.
Fantastic. As we come to the end, I would like to ask as well, you know, the message has gone out there about the national ID again, and if somebody is going to vote in Kenya in August, and they're here in the United Kingdom, because August is our holiday. It's always a month holiday, and most of us are in Kenya. Okay. So the question is, like, if somebody has the ID, can they then register with the ID?
Yes.
Just only because they'll be voting in Kenya?
Yes.
And their passport is not right. The Kenyan passport is like expired, but they have the ID, but they'll be voting in Kenya.
Actually, we have had a number of them today. If you are in the UK and you want to vote back at home, all right, and you can't make it home to go and register, but you're in the UK as we speak now, present yourself here with your national identity card. We will register you to vote back at home at a station of your choice. We've already done a number of them here. So yes, if you're in the UK, in August you'll be home and you have your ID, you want to use your ID, that is given. You can come here and we register you using your ID to enable you vote back at home. The passport applies exclusively, you know, for the UK.
Those who will vote here.
For the UK, the provision of an ID is not there. But for those who want to vote at home, you have the option of an ID or a passport. Is that clear?
That's
yes.
clear.
Yes.
That's clear.
Yeah.
So viewers, you've had, you know, a lot of you, I know, August, you're in Kenya because that's what we do all the time. So bring your national ID because I know you have that. Many who've been complaining about not having your passport, there's a leeway there. We've always wanted to be involved in the voting process. This is the time that you get yourself involved. And thank you very much for really taking the initiative. And we would want you to tell us what, you know, what exactly you want we do in the diaspora to get it right, because I'm sure you've gone to different places in the diaspora.
Yes.
The story is the same, whether it's in the UK, the US, you know, Germany, most probably in East Africa as well. What can you say to the voters who are listening to you right now?
My biggest concern, and this as an elections expert and a practitioner, I feel it would be wrong to have Kenyans, rightfully Kenyans, disenfranchised because of documentation. I really pray that we will get to a point where if you have your national identity card, irrespective of which part of the world you are in, you are able to exercise your civic and political right. And that will take an amendment of legislation. And my prayer is that we are able to lobby to mobilize, particularly, to mobilize such numbers that we can put our voice across. Like I mentioned in the beginning, Janet, it's a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers. If we get 10,000 here, nobody is going to disregard that. But 200, maybe not, you know.
Yes.
But yes, I feel really bad that there are Kenyans who will be disenfranchised because their national identity cards are not recognized beyond certain boundaries. We should be able, it should really count. It's my ID, it should count at whatever boundaries I am within. And that can be amended if we have the numbers and if we follow the rightful structures of trying to have the amendment to the electoral laws done.
So viewers, this week, we haven't only got 1 week to go. This 1 week, to mobilize you Kenyans out there to get out, come and register to vote. I am asking you. We have mobilized the last 1 week, and thank you very much to those who've responded, because we know you have and you've done a good job. Let us say the coming weekend is another big weekend if you can't be found over the week, but we would like you to take 10 minutes of your time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The registrars are here waiting for you. So, you know, tell them a little bit about informing each other, you know, getting into the community. That is something that Absolutely. I really wanted to come from the IEBC.
Yeah, and I'm happy. Janet, I cannot thank you enough. You have been doing a splendid job, you together with the other leadership of the Kenyan diaspora. My call and my prayer to the leaders within your communities, I understand that you're structured into different communities. Once you register, reach out to the Kenyan next to you. Tomorrow we have people congregating in churches. The religious leaders, take that opportunity. Let it be a special announcement. In every church where we have a Kenyan, let it be a special announcement that we have this particular registration center opening from 9 to 5 in the evening, throughout the day with no lunch breaks and no weekend. We are working today, we will work tomorrow, Sunday, and every other day until the 7th. So my prayer is tomorrow, where people will be gathered in parties, in whatever congregations, let us keep spreading the word. Let's keep spreading the word. You have such good platforms, and I'm glad that we've been using them. We will still be here to help you structure the messages, to help you put the messages out there. We will be here to do that. But for tomorrow, I really want to appeal to the religious leaders. Let it be a special announcement in every church and in every home. It's unfortunate to hear people saying, oh, I didn't know about it. You know, there's a lady who came and she had absolutely no idea, but she said someone tagged her on Facebook. And you know, it's being impactful. So this particular one, you never know, it could reach a number of people. And
you're also getting young people involved. I've seen a good number of young people. I like
we
that.
had a 21, a 22-year-old. Today we had a very young person. There's a very young lady who's at the registration center now as we speak. Unfortunately, she doesn't have documentation, but she is so patriotic and very zealous about the process. She came very early and has been following the process. She's not able to register, but she's there. She is watching and she's tweeting and asking people to turn up and register. That is the kind of patriotism. That's the kind of zeal that we are looking for. Thank you. You're doing a very good job, Janet.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I was saying, parents, time for you to now think about your children. And a lot of us have invested in Kenya. Right now, most of them cannot vote because of the national ID. The Kenya High Commission is here, placed enough with immigration officers who can sort you out in terms of the birth certificate for a child who is born in the United Kingdom. With that birth certificate, they'll get their national ID. So even if they were going to go have a good time in Kenya, that means they'll have their national ID to do that.
Right.
They don't have to keep carrying their British passport. Time for us to really Kenyanize our children. We're here. We don't know the next step. Countries change all the time.
Absolutely.
Home is home. If it's home for you and you've taken a lot of money to put in Kenya, make it right for your children.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Janet.
Thank you for being on the program.
Nala is not about Benji. Nala is not about Nala as a company. Nala is about you as the people, right? For me, it's a brand that's bigger than all of us, right? It's like Coca-Cola. 100 years from today, I want people to look back and say, this is what Nala did to impact the lives of Africans globally. We want to build payment infrastructure on the continent, but we can't do that without your help. So if you're watching this, I would love to be part of this journey. Please, join us, install an application, give us feedback directly. People like you really inspire us to do the work that we do. So we love your feedback, we love your help in helping us get into there. Ungana nasi, and let's go.